No, it's the perfect time. It's the perfect time and the perfect strategy. Why I say that?
The automotive world was rocked recently when Jeep's CEO made a shocking announcement. Every Jeep dealership might be closing its doors sooner than expected. This bold announcement came out of nowhere and left fans and industry insiders in disbelief. Jeep, known for its rugged, adventurous spirit, is being dragged in a new direction that does not sit well with its core customer base. Stellantis, Jeep's parent company, appears to be making decisions based solely on market trends and profit margins, sidelining what made Jeep a beloved brand for decades. The tension between the traditional values of Jeep and the new corporate strategies of Stellantis has created a rift that could spell disaster for the company. Jeep enthusiasts are left asking, how did we get here? It's a shocking turn of events for a brand that once symbolized freedom and durability. Now, instead of focusing on their core products, Stellantis seems intent on pushing Jeep toward luxury markets, alienating its loyal fans in the process. The situation has become dire, and it appears that Jeep's once ironclad bond with its customers is fracturing under the pressure of corporate greed and misguided strategies. But what led to this shocking announcement, and what impact will it have on us as consumers and on the entire automotive industry? Let's uncover the truth behind this drastic shift and find out what the future holds. Sales decline and market shifts. Over the past 5 years, Jeep's sales figures have taken a nosedive. Once a powerhouse in the SUV market, Jeep has seen 5 consecutive years of declining sales in the United States. Industry analysts were shocked when early 2024 data showed another decline, with sales dropping by 9% in just the first half of the year. This downward trend is part of a larger problem, as Jeep's sales have plummeted by a staggering 34% since hitting a peak of over 973,000 units in 2018. Today, the brand struggles to reach even 643,000 units, signaling a major crisis. The discontinuation of popular models like the Cherokee and Renegade has only made things worse. These models were once the backbone of Jeep's success, collectively selling about 300,000 units annually between 2016 and 2019. However, in a surprising move, Stellantis decided to phase them out without introducing any immediate replacements. This decision has left a void in Jeep's lineup, confusing loyal customers who now have fewer options that fit their needs and expectations. It's almost as if Stellantis is deliberately ignoring what made Jeep great in the first place. Inventory levels are another major red flag. Despite ongoing production, Jeep dealerships are sitting on a mountain of unsold vehicles. Nearly 48,000 units from the 2023 lineup are still gathering dust on dealer lots, alongside around 2,000 unsold models from 2022. This glut of vehicles suggests that Stellantis has seriously miscalculated market demand. In the automotive industry, a healthy market day supply typically ranges between 60 and 70 days. Yet Jeep's current supply far exceeds this standard, highlighting a disturbing disconnect between what the company produces and what consumers actually want. But what does this mean for us as Jeep fans and consumers? Are we witnessing the fall of a brand we've trusted for years, or is there something more going on behind the scenes? Let's take a closer look at what's really happening. The price hikes that pushed fans away. One of the most controversial moves Stellantis has made in recent years is the decision to significantly increase the prices of Jeep models. Over the past 5 years, the average price of a Jeep has risen by an astounding 50%. This isn't just a minor adjustment, it's a massive leap that has priced many traditional Jeep buyers out of the market. Models like the Grand Wagoneer are now being positioned to compete with luxury brands such as Land Rover and Lexus. But here's the problem. Jeep has never been about luxury. It was always the go-to choice for rugged, affordable off-road vehicles. Take the Jeep Wrangler, for instance. This model was once celebrated for its value, offering off-road capabilities at a reasonable price point. However, the latest versions of the Wrangler now start at over $40,000. That's a significant jump from its previous pricing, and it's left many loyal fans feeling betrayed. They're asking, what happened to the Jeep we loved? The brand's pivot toward high-end pricing is not just alienating, it's a direct contradiction of what Jeep has historically stood for. Ruggedness, accessibility, and affordability were the pillars of the brand's identity, but Stellantis seems to have abandoned these values in favor of chasing luxury profits. This dramatic shift in pricing strategy has led to widespread discontent among Jeep enthusiasts. Many longtime fans have expressed frustration, feeling squeezed out of a market they once called their own. They're nostalgic for the days when owning a Jeep didn't require a second mortgage. The company's decision to hike prices so aggressively appears to be backfiring, as it's driving away the very customers who built Jeep's reputation. The result? Declining sales and a growing sense of disillusionment among the brand's most loyal supporters. Stellantis' growing nightmare. As if the pricing debacle wasn't enough, Stellantis is now facing a serious quality control crisis that threatens to further damage Jeep's already shaky reputation. Reports of engine fires, software glitches, and other serious defects have become alarmingly common. These aren't minor inconveniences, they're safety issues that put lives at risk. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration has documented numerous cases of engine fires in Jeep vehicles, with some incidents occurring even when the cars were turned off. This shocking revelation has raised serious questions about the quality of Jeep's manufacturing processes. Stellantis has been forced to issue several recalls, impacting over 71,500 vehicles due to risks associated with engine fires. Despite the recalls, many customers have reported a lack of clear communication from the company, leaving them confused and frustrated. This mishandling of the situation has only fueled the fire of public discontent. On top of that, Stellantis recently had to recall about 1,460,000 vehicles due to critical software issues that could disable electronic stability control systems. These systems are essential for ensuring vehicle safety, particularly in challenging driving conditions. A failure in these systems could lead to serious accidents, putting drivers and passengers in danger. The sheer number of recalls points to a deeper problem within Stellantis. It seems the company's focus on rapid expansion and aggressive cost-cutting measures has come at the expense of quality control. The result is a lineup of vehicles plagued by defects, undermining the trust that Jeep once commanded. This quality control nightmare has left many wondering if Stellantis is more interested in cutting corners to save money than in maintaining the safety and reliability of its vehicles. Stellantis' response to these quality issues has been lackluster at best. Instead of taking swift and decisive action, the company has been slow to acknowledge the problems and even slower to address them. This delay has led to a growing sense of frustration among customers, many of whom feel that Stellantis is more concerned with protecting its bottom line than with ensuring their safety. It's a risky strategy that could have long-term consequences for Jeep's reputation and customer loyalty. Stellantis' strategy. As Jeep grapples with declining sales and growing discontent, many industry analysts are questioning the strategy of its parent company, Stellantis. Instead of focusing on fixing the glaring issues with Jeep's lineup, Stellantis seems more interested in pushing the brand into the luxury market. This decision has left many scratching their heads, wondering if Stellantis is intentionally steering Jeep away from its roots, or if they're simply out of touch with what Jeep's core audience actually wants. The introduction of upscale models like the Grand Wagoneer signals a clear pivot towards a high-end market, but this move comes with significant risks. Stellantis has made a big bet on the idea that luxury SUVs are the future of the automotive industry. By attempting to position Jeep alongside luxury stalwarts like Range Rover and Lexus, they hope to attract a wealthier clientele. However, this strategy is fundamentally flawed because it overlooks Jeep's established brand identity. For decades, Jeep has been known for its ruggedness and affordability, traits that appeal to adventure seekers and outdoor enthusiasts. Trying to transform Jeep into a luxury brand is akin to forcing a square peg into a round hole. Industry experts are already warning that Stellantis' gamble might not pay off. The luxury SUV market is fiercely competitive, and established players like Mercedes-Benz and Land Rover have a significant edge in terms of brand recognition and customer loyalty. By chasing this niche market, Stellantis risks alienating Jeep's traditional customer base without successfully capturing new luxury buyers. It's a risky maneuver that could end up backfiring, leaving Jeep stranded between two very different market segments. Financial analysts have also raised concerns about the significant investment Stellantis is making in this pivot toward luxury. Developing new high-end models like the Grand Wagoneer is costly, and the sales figures so far have not been encouraging. If this trend continues, Stellantis could find itself in a precarious financial position, having poured substantial resources into a strategy that fails to yield the expected returns. The decision to go upscale might end up being a costly gamble that Jeep simply can't afford. The fallout of Stellantis decisions. While Stellantis tries to redefine Jeep's market position, its workforce is feeling the brunt of these changes. The relationship between Stellantis and its employees has become increasingly strained, with tensions reaching a boiling point in recent months. Nearly 98% of United Auto Workers UAW members have filed grievances against the company, a staggering statistic that highlights the deep dissatisfaction brewing among the workforce. The core issue behind these grievances is Stellantis' failure to uphold its promises regarding job security and investment in production facilities. Many workers feel betrayed by the company, especially after Stellantis previously committed to reopening the Belvidere assembly plant in Illinois, only to later backtrack on this promise. The decision to shelve these plans, citing unfavorable market conditions, has left employees feeling deceived and undervalued. It's no wonder that there's growing talk of a strike, as frustration among workers continues to mount. Adding to the unrest are rumors that Stellantis might relocate some of its production facilities outside of the United States. Whispers of moving Dodge Durango production to Mexico have spread like wildfire, stoking fears of further job cuts and creating a climate of anxiety among employees. If these rumors prove true, it could spell disaster for the already tense relationship between Stellantis and the UAW. Relocating production would not only lead to additional layoffs, but could also spark a nationwide strike that would bring Stellantis' operations to a grinding halt. UAW President Shawn Fain has been vocal in his criticism of Stellantis' leadership, particularly targeting CEO Carlos Tavares. Fain has accused Tavares of prioritizing profits and executive bonuses over the well-being of the company's employees. In a recent interview, Fain did not hold back, stating, "This company has forgotten who built it. It wasn't the executives sitting in their glass offices. It was the hard-working men and women on the factory floor." His fiery remarks have resonated with the workforce, galvanizing support for potential strike action if Stellantis continues down its current path. The threat of a strike looms large, and the stakes could not be higher. If workers decide to walk out, it could cripple Stellantis' production capabilities and exacerbate the company's existing inventory problems. With thousands of unsold vehicles already sitting idle on dealership lots, a strike would be a devastating blow to the company's bottom line. The next few months will be critical in determining whether Stellantis can repair its fractured relationship with its employees, or if a full-blown labor crisis is on the horizon. Jeep's identity crisis. In the midst of this turmoil, Stellantis is diving headfirst into the electric vehicle market, a move that many see as a desperate attempt to keep up with industry trends. The company has committed a whopping $46 million to upgrade 3 plants in Michigan for EV production, signaling its intent to electrify popular Jeep models like the Wagoneer and the upcoming Ram 1500 Ravi. While the push toward electric vehicles aligns with a broader industry shift, it raises important questions about Jeep's future. For decades, Jeep has been synonymous with rugged off-road capability and an adventurous spirit. The transition to electric vehicles, however, risks diluting this iconic brand image. Many Jeep enthusiasts are skeptical about whether an electric Wrangler, for instance, can truly capture the essence of the original. The off-road community values vehicles that can handle rough terrain and long trips into the wilderness, capabilities that many believe current electric vehicles still lack due to concerns about battery life and charging infrastructure. Stellantis' CEO Carlos Tavares has openly acknowledged the challenges of achieving cost parity between electric and internal combustion engine vehicles. He has been candid about the complexities involved in making electric vehicles affordable for the average consumer. If Stellantis fails to roll out competitively priced electric Jeeps, they risk losing a significant portion of their customer base. Potential buyers may view these electric models as too expensive, especially when compared to their traditional gasoline-powered counterparts. Jeep fans feel betrayed. As Stellantis pushes forward with its controversial strategy for Jeep, the consumer backlash has been swift and severe. Loyal Jeep fans who have supported the brand for decades feel abandoned. Jeep was once the go-to choice for adventurers and off-road enthusiasts who valued rugged vehicles at accessible price points. Now, with prices skyrocketing and the brand's identity shifting toward luxury and electric vehicles, many of these loyal customers are feeling left behind. Social media has become a hotbed of criticism, with Jeep forums and fan groups lighting up with complaints. Die-hard enthusiasts are venting their frustration, accusing Stellantis of betraying the core values that made Jeep a household name. One popular comment circulating online reads, "Jeep used to be about adventure and freedom, not about being a status symbol. It's sad to see what it's become." This sentiment is echoed by thousands of fans who are disillusioned with the brand's new direction. Adding fuel to the fire, the drastic price hikes have alienated a significant portion of Jeep's traditional customer base. Models like the Jeep Wrangler, which was once considered an affordable off-road option, are now priced out of reach for many. The starting price of over $40,000 has left potential buyers feeling frustrated and priced out of a market they once enjoyed. It's a stark departure from the days when a Jeep represented freedom and adventure without breaking the bank. Jeep's pivot toward electric vehicles has also divided its fan base. While some consumers are excited about the prospect of an electric Jeep, many others remain skeptical. For off-road enthusiasts, the main concern is the reliability and practicality of electric vehicles in rugged conditions. The fear of running out of battery power in the middle of a remote trail is a significant drawback for those who rely on their Jeeps for outdoor adventures. Comments like, "I can't trust an electric vehicle to get me through a long off-road trip," have become common among Jeep fans, highlighting a major hurdle Stellantis must overcome if it wants to win back its traditional audience. A bleak future ahead. The uncertainty surrounding Jeep's future is not just affecting consumers, it's also hitting dealerships hard. With rumors swirling about potential dealership closures, many Jeep dealers are left wondering what the future holds. The decision by Stellantis to potentially shut down every Jeep dealership is seen by some as the final nail in the coffin for the brand's traditional retail model. If these closures do happen, it would be an unprecedented move in the automotive industry, fundamentally changing how Jeep vehicles are sold in the United States. The relationship between Stellantis and its dealerships has become strained in recent years, largely due to the company's aggressive push toward online sales and direct-to-consumer models. This shift has left many traditional dealerships feeling sidelined and uncertain about their future. In a recent interview, a prominent Jeep dealership owner expressed his frustration, saying, "Stellantis seems to be ignoring the importance of local dealerships. We've been the backbone of Jeep sales for decades, and now they're just cutting us out of the picture." The move toward online sales and direct distribution might make sense from a cost-saving perspective, but it comes at a significant risk. Dealerships have long played a crucial role in building relationships with customers and providing the kind of personalized service that online platforms simply cannot replicate. By sidelining these dealerships, Stellantis risks losing a valuable connection with its customer base. Furthermore, many buyers still prefer the traditional car buying experience, where they can test drive vehicles and receive in-person support from knowledgeable sales staff. A risky bet on the future. Stellantis' decision to dive headfirst into the electric vehicle market has been met with mixed reactions, both inside and outside the company. On one hand, the shift toward electric vehicles aligns with broader industry trends as automakers race to meet new environmental regulations and reduce carbon emissions. On the other hand, the move is fraught with risks, especially for a brand like Jeep that has built its reputation on rugged gasoline-powered vehicles. The massive investment Stellantis is making in electric vehicle production is a clear indication that the company is betting big on the future of electrification. The decision to allocate $46 million for upgrading plants in Michigan to produce electric versions of popular models like the Wagoneer and the Ram 1500 REV sends a strong message about where the company believes the market is headed. However, this bold strategy raises significant questions about whether Stellantis is putting all its eggs in one basket. One of the biggest challenges Stellantis faces with this electric transition is achieving cost parity between electric and traditional internal combustion engine vehicles. CEO Carlos Tavares has been open about the difficulties involved in making electric Jeeps affordable for everyday consumers. The current high cost of batteries and other components means that electric models are significantly more expensive to produce, which in turn drives up the price for consumers. If Stellantis cannot find a way to reduce these costs, the company risks alienating potential buyers who view electric vehicles as prohibitively expensive. Beyond the financial hurdles, there are also concerns about the impact of this shift on Jeep's brand identity. For decades, Jeep has stood for adventure, durability, and a go-anywhere spirit. Many fans are skeptical that an electric vehicle can live up to these expectations, fearing that the switch to electric power could dilute the brand's rugged image. The iconic Jeep Wrangler, for example, is seen by many as a symbol of off-road capability and freedom. Introducing an electric version of this model might appeal to environmentally conscious consumers, but but it risks alienating traditional Jeep enthusiasts who value the roar of a gasoline engine and the reliability it offers in challenging terrain. Stellantis' bet on electric vehicles might seem like a forward-thinking move, but it's a gamble that could backfire if the market doesn't respond as expected. The company is taking a huge risk by prioritizing electric models at a time when many consumers are still hesitant to make the switch. Factors like charging infrastructure, range anxiety, and the higher upfront cost of electric vehicles continue to be major barriers for widespread adoption. If Stellantis cannot overcome these challenges, it could find itself in a precarious position, with unsold electric Jeeps piling up on dealership lots and no clear path forward. Can Stellantis survive the storm? Jeep's financial troubles have become increasingly difficult for Stellantis to ignore. Despite efforts to revamp the brand and pivot toward new markets, the numbers tell a grim story. Jeep's sales decline over the past 5 years has put immense pressure on Stellantis' bottom line, and the losses are starting to add up. In the first half of 2024 alone, Stellantis reported a staggering 48% drop in global earnings. These sharp declines are not just bad for business, they are a clear sign that the company's strategy may be fundamentally flawed. Part of the issue stems from Stellantis' aggressive push into the luxury SUV market, which has alienated Jeep's core customers, while failing to attract enough new buyers to make up the difference. The high price tags of models like the Grand Wagoneer have turned off traditional Jeep fans who were once the brand's biggest supporters. This shift in market focus has left Stellantis in a precarious financial position as it struggles to balance the high cost of producing luxury vehicles with the declining revenue from its existing customer base. To make matters worse, Stellantis is also dealing with a massive inventory surplus. With nearly 48,000 unsold 2023 models still on dealer lots, the company is facing a significant cash flow problem. Unsold inventory ties up capital, limits the ability to produce new models, and increases the financial burden on dealerships that are already struggling to stay afloat. For Stellantis, this surplus represents more than just a temporary setback. It's a symptom of deeper systemic issues that could threaten the company's long-term viability. The financial pressures have prompted some drastic measures from Stellantis, including widespread layoffs and cost-cutting initiatives. While these moves might help the company shore up its finances in the short term, they also come with serious risks. Cutting jobs and reducing investments in production facilities can save money, but it also undermines the company's ability to innovate and meet future demand. Stellantis is walking a fine line, trying to stabilize its finances without sacrificing the quality and reliability that Jeep customers expect. If the company fails to strike the right balance, it could face a downward spiral that's hard to recover from. Stellantis' ambitious push toward electric vehicles is seen by many as a necessary step to keep up with industry trends, but it's also a high-risk gamble that could make or break the company. As the automotive industry shifts toward electrification, traditional automakers like Stellantis are under immense pressure to adapt or risk being left behind. The decision to invest heavily in electric Jeeps is part of a broader strategy to position Stellantis as a leader in the EV market, but it's a strategy that comes with significant challenges. One of the biggest hurdle Stellantis faces is convincing Jeep's loyal fan base to embrace electric vehicles. The typical Jeep buyer isn't necessarily looking for the latest in green technology. They want a vehicle that can handle tough terrain, long road trips, and everything in between. The introduction of electric versions of popular models like the Wagoneer has been met with skepticism from Jeep enthusiasts who question whether these vehicles can live up to the brand's rugged reputation. Comments like, "An electric Jeep just isn't a real Jeep," are common in online discussions, highlighting the deep-seated resistance to this shift among the brand's core supporters. Stellantis has acknowledged these challenges, but remains committed to its electric vehicle strategy. The company's leadership believes that the transition to electric vehicles is essential for long-term survival, particularly as governments around the world impose stricter emissions regulations. However, there's no guarantee that this gamble will pay off. If the electric Jeeps fail to resonate with consumers, Stellantis could find itself in an even deeper financial hole, having invested billions in a product line that doesn't sell. It's a risky bet, and the stakes couldn't be higher. Will Jeep make it through? As the dust settles on Stellantis' bold new strategy, the future of Jeep hangs in the balance. The company's pivot toward luxury and electric vehicles has left many wondering whether Jeep can maintain its identity in an industry that's changing faster than ever before. The iconic brand, once synonymous with ruggedness and adventure, is now at a crossroads, facing an identity crisis that could reshape its entire trajectory. The disconnect between Stellantis' vision for the future and the expectations of Jeep's loyal customers is becoming increasingly apparent. For decades, Jeep has built its reputation on the promise of freedom and off-road capability. The move toward luxury SUVs and electric models feels like a betrayal to many fans who cherished Jeep for its simplicity and durability. If Stellantis continues down this path without addressing the concerns of its core customer base, it risks losing the very people who have kept the brand alive through thick and thin. Another major hurdle Jeep faces is the potential for a nationwide strike by its workforce. The relationship between Stellantis and the United Auto Workers, UAW, has reached a breaking point, with union leaders threatening to take drastic action if the company doesn't address their concerns about job security and fair wages. A strike could have catastrophic consequences for Stellantis, halting production at a time when the company can least afford it. With inventory already piling up and sales lagging, any disruption in production could push the company closer to financial ruin. Finally, there's the looming threat of bankruptcy. While Stellantis is far from admitting defeat, the financial indicators are worrying. Declining sales, rising operational costs, and the massive investment required for the electric vehicle transition have created a perfect storm of financial instability. Some analysts are already speculating that if things don't turn around soon, Stellantis might have to consider drastic measures, including filing for bankruptcy or even selling off parts of its business. It's a scenario that seemed unthinkable just a few years ago, but the rapid changes in the industry have left even the most established automakers vulnerable. So what does the future hold for Jeep? Will Stellantis' risky strategy pay off, or is the company on a collision course with disaster? The coming months will be crucial as the brand navigates through these turbulent waters. One thing is certain, the decisions made today will shape the future of Jeep for years to come. The stakes are higher than ever, and all eyes are on Stellantis as it attempts to steer the company back on track. Before we wrap up, we want to hear from you. What do you think about Jeep's move toward luxury and electric vehicles? Is this the evolution the brand needs, or is it a disastrous shift that could alienate its loyal fans? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the automotive world.